Let's welcome back to Farmer First YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. Today I bought a complete package of crop production, which means it's containing some of the very important points which you should be remember if you are attending any of the agriculture based examinations. That will be very helpful, and without wasting time, we will get into the topic and we will see what all the things are there. Here I am displaying the document which is consisting of important concepts of crop production, not only in the agriculture, not only in the agriculture crops such as cereals, pulses and oil seeds, commercial crops, but also I have listed many other horticulture crops also. In that, what are all the things we should remember and what are all the things which will be very helpful for your examinations, those you just point it out and you try to remember all those things. Okay. See here, I have given the crop name, next to that its family, next to that its origin, seed rate and method of sowing, important points and some of the very important varieties. Okay, here whatever the points are written, you should remember one by one completely. Why? Because as I already mentioned in my previous channel, it is not like other concepts. There is no or nothing to understand. Only thing is you should remember. Okay. Hence, don't get confused with the points which I have mentioned here, because some of the varieties may be repeated in two or three other crops. That time you may get confused that this variety belongs to which crop. At that time, how they will give questions means they will give the variety and they will give all the crops, and additionally they will give an option of all of these crops. So you don't need to worry, but you particularly remember that variety. Why? Because mostly the examiner will try to fool you by giving such questions. Okay, here you can see, just I am giving an example. Okay, for suppose rice is there, its chromosome number is 24 and its scientific name is also given. If you are preparing for any of the institutional examinations such as IRRI or ICR or these KVK examinations and all, there you need to remember in depth of these rice varieties. Okay, rice genotypes, that is Oryza sativa, Oryza. Okay, there are another 2 to 3 species which will also come. Okay, that you should remember, but for the broader sake, Oryza sativa is more than enough. Okay, next to that, where it has been originated and what is its family. Usually it is given as Graminae family, but in some of the old books you can also find Cyperaceae. Even in many of the examinations also, in order to confuse you people, they will give Cyperaceae. Okay, you need to remember the origin. Next to that, some of the very important points such as DG is a dwarfing gene. Okay, next to that is varieties. Some of the varieties which I have given, these varieties are the special varieties which are having some of the pest and disease resistance and some of the special qualities. Hence, there is a need to remember these varieties. If you see, for example, other crop such as korra, okay, here you should remember whatever the millets you take, you should remember the scientific name, because most of the times they will ask the scientific name of these millets directly. Why? Because many of the students will not remember, because they are somewhat acquired or somewhat different names when compared to other cereals. Okay, here you need to concentrate on the varieties and its protein content. Why? Because these are having very limited varieties, but these varieties will be difficult to remember. That's why they will ask these varieties. Okay, if you go for any of the oilseed crops such as groundnut, here you need to remember the toxin which is present in it, that is aflatoxin, and some of the varieties which are suitable for kharif, which are suitable for rabi, and its oil content. And major thing with respect to groundnut is the deficiency symptoms of groundnut, such as calcium deficiency, boron deficiency, such as popping and this empty nuts. Okay, you should remember those things. And the critical stages of irrigation, critical stages of crop weed competition, that and all you should remember. Along with that, you should remember the concepts which I have mentioned here. Okay, next to that, if you come for any of the oilseed crops such as soybean, okay, here the typical question always asked by the examiner is that the protein content and oil content. Is it right? If it is an oil crop means the oil content should be more. But here it is considered as both oil seed crop as well as legume. But it is basically an oil seed crop, but it's contain around 20% of the oil and almost double, that is 40% of the protein. Okay, here you need to concentrate more on some of the typical diseases which are appearing in the soybean, because that brown spot disease and this one more disease called rust, which is getting more popular, and the purple staining on the seeds. These are the typical diseases which are getting outburst in nowadays. Okay, those will be mostly concentrated by the examiners to check your current knowledge on the agriculture. Okay, anyone can by heart these things and they will write, but whenever they will ask about current affairs of the crop production and trending concepts such as burning issues of crop production, such as the trash burning in case of sugarcane, what are all the alternatives they have planned, okay, how the charcoal will be used in crop production, okay, those things will give you a more weightage. Okay, next is, if you take any of the horticulture crops for that matter, okay, I have given their scientific names, their common name, family, origin, and one of the very important method here is, okay, you should remember the propagation methods and the important points and some of the varieties such as seedless varieties or some of the hybrids or some of the dwarfing varieties, and some of the varieties which are having the disease and the pest resistance, and specified varieties for the specified location. Okay, those you should remember. And here one more thing very important is their flowering habit. Some of monoecious, some of dioecious, okay, some of hermaphrodites. You should remember the type of flowers and the scientific or botanical name of the fruits, such as that citrus is called Hesperidium, like banana is a capsule, right? Our apple is thalamus. Likewise, you should remember. Okay, those will be appear most of the times. Next to that is type of propagation is very important. Why? Because many of the horticulture crops are perennial and they will be grown through different methods of grafting, budding, right? And some of the crops will be grown through seeds. You should remember which method of propagation is very important in which crop. For suppose, if you take an example of cashew nut, their softwood grafting is very much prominent. If you take mango, approach grafting is highly prominent. If you take grapes, their budding is prominent. If you take this rose, budding is prominent. If you take geranium, there the softwood cutting is the prominent method of propagation. Hence, you should remember the best of propagation methods of each of the crops. Those will give you a marks. Okay, and some of the hybrids, such as, for suppose the varieties such as RNA is there. RNA, which means Ratna, Neelam. Ratna is a cross of Neelam and Alfonso, right? DNA. These are some of the shortcuts which you should remember. See here, many of the other things also I have given here. If you got any doubt in any of the concepts, you can contact me. Okay, if you want this PDF for your reference, I will provide. I'm